Last night we ate at Pujol, number 5 best restaurant. You can anticipate the service is going to be off the charts, right?
Yep.
And the experience and the food and like ambiance and everything. Your expectations are
Pretty high.
really high. They'll say, you know what? I felt pretty much the same, maybe even more like a VIP, or maybe even more seen, or maybe more special, at the taco stand on the corner, where we were just standing there, and they're turned over buckets. That's where they're sitting, and they're like in this on this griddle that was, it's been used for 20 years. And you know how when you travel and you eat food and you think to yourself, why can't it be this good back home?
Yeah.
Like, we have the same ingredients and we do the same thing. So why can't we have something like this back home? So that was the thought. And then, several career lives later and years later on down the road, and about 7.5 years ago was the right time to launch San Diablo Churros. So, and our whole thing was, actually, our churros are mini. We serve our churros mini as opposed to, the foot-long
ones.
Churros that most people are used to. And it allows people to have a variety and of the filling flavors, whether it's dulce de leche, Nutella. Right now we have raspberry. We're about ready in the spring. We'll do our fan favorite lemon curd, coconut cream. Anyway, but we fill them with all sorts of fun things.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, that's
so that
amazing.
was the impetus for the churro business, and on that same summer was when I was going to be several friends were going to come down to Mexico City and travel after my internship, and so I was on a mission also to optimize the time that they were going to be in Mexico City. And so that really
the best
was
possible experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So I wanted to create this like itinerary that was amazing.
Yeah.
And so and Mexico City has like some nuances with timing of, traffic, time of the day, what things are happening when the best vibe is going on in different spots of the city. And so, so that really was the birth of the taco tour that I now do with executives in a taco tour mastermind retreat to Mexico City. And that was, that's where it all started.
That's amazing,
way back as an intern in Mexico City. And it's really, it's really it's kind of snowballed from there. Because the taco, I found myself throughout my career in training on how to create amazing experiences. How do we help people feel special, whether it's in a nursing home or in the airline business or in our churro business? How are we helping people feel special? I ended up using like examples from my taco search. Because and I found that the taco became this totally unexpected masterclass in how to create an elevated brand experience on the street.
Totally.
This doesn't need to be like the Ritz-Carlton or something like that oftentimes business leaders think and equate to being something luxury. Very expensive or luxury. Or this means like to create an elevated experience means that I have to spend a lot more money, which most business leaders are reluctant to do.
Totally.
Right?
Well, have you read, I think it's called, I think his name's I think it's Guidara. Unreasonable Hospitality.
For sure.
Unreasonable Hospitality. I think it's Will Guidara. He's a chef. But he talks about in the book, and also I think in his TED Talk, because I have just been reading more about him, and I read his book and stuff. But he shares an experience at his restaurant, 11 Madison Park, I think is what it's called in New York. And he had some guests that were out of town that were eating there, and he overheard them, like they had an amazing experience at his restaurant. But he overheard them say something about, I haven't tried a New York street hot dog yet. And he shares this experience of him going out into the street and getting a New York style hot dog from a street cart and bringing it in and giving it to the guest. And how moved the guests were by that. And like being able to create that experience is so like magical for them, because he didn't necessarily like, I think he didn't say he like went up and talked to them, but he overheard it. I think he maybe heard it probably from a server, and so he made it happen. And then now those people are fans for life, and now this is an amazing story. And
they've told everyone, and
exactly, and he's made his whole career off this unreasonable, more or less, hospitality, right? And so I think that definitely goes into kind of your brand experience stuff that you've done, more or less, not only just like educating executives, but also in the experience you give people. Because I've seen it on social, and it looks amazing, and I hope I get the chance to go do one someday, because I absolutely love Mexican food. But talk to me about like the brand experience piece, and talk to me about like how that's helped people that have been in these masterminds, and kind of what you really talk about on these trips to help more or less translate it into their business.
Yeah, one of the beautiful things, and the most, in my opinion, one of the most magical things about Mexico City, and the reason why we go to Mexico City, is that the culture is on. I mean, you're immersed in it, and for many people, Mexico City is maybe a little bit out of their comfort zone. You know, people are familiar with like beaches and borders of Mexico. Sure. And also there's a little bit of a stereotype of perhaps like it's not quite as safe, or, you know, people are they've seen Men on Fire or whatever, you know, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to go to Mexico City. It is amazing. I think it's one of the best food cities in the world. Yeah. And never been safer, never been more accessible.
So like just any cities like amazing. That, there's bad parts and there's great parts of the city.
For sure.
And
I mean, it's a massive metropolis. You know?
Yeah, it's huge.
And so there's like so many layers to the city. Yeah. You have like ruins in the heart of the Centro Histórico, in the historic zone. And then you have a cathedral. So you have this like colonial presence of the architecture, the cobblestone streets, like amazing cathedrals and architecture. Then you have the ancient, obviously with pyramids and ruins from the ancient people there, and then the modern and everything that's associated with that, and modern buildings, but also just very progressively modern society as well. And so we eat like the best of the street. And we're, you know, all the way up to number 5 best restaurant in the world is in Mexico City, Pujol. Yeah. And so, and everything in between. And one of the things that we go in with this clear intentionality of really helping each of us unlock and understand to a deeper degree the power of real human connection in your business. Totally. And the way that happens, so much of it happens organically, and it's stuff that we never plan for. Yeah. Because and this is the beauty of the whole experience is that the culture and the people really become the master teachers here. Yeah. And we don't know what that's going to look like. Yeah. Obviously we have a couple of several sessions throughout the 5 days that we're there. We call them sobre mesa discussions. It's basically table talk over breakfast. And that's a peer-to-peer kind of learning and sharing of ideas. But so much of it is like we're processing through, wow, what happened last night? Last night we ate at Pujol, number 5 best restaurant. You can anticipate the service is going to be off the charts, right? Yep. And the experience and the food and like ambiance and everything and the mole and the, you know,
just
tortillas.
Know that going in.
You know that it's going to be amazing, and your expectations are
pretty high,
really high. Yeah. And then one of the things that I love about it is that it inevitably happens. They'll say, you know what? I felt pretty much the same, maybe even more like a VIP, or maybe even more seen, or maybe more special, at the taco stand on the corner, where we were just standing there, and the Patty and Yvonne were like on their they're turned over buckets. That's where they're sitting, and they're like in this on this griddle that was, it's been used for 20 years and seasoned, amazing, and like they're just making the blue corn tlacoyos right there in front of you, and it's been a family business for 40 years. They say that their mom owns that corner when, for sure. It's they're iconic right there in that neighborhood. And they said, you know what, sometimes the people say, I think I felt more special on that street corner with her, the way that they took so much pride in the quality that they were providing. They were so kind. They looked me in the eye, like, how are you doing today? What would you like on your tlacoyo, and just making it something that was this beautiful human interaction. And those are the types of things that are unlocked. Is that you're like, okay, well, wow, what did they do that made me feel so special? And then also this realization and this aha of like, wow, that didn't cost anyone any money. And so it's basically
more or less the feeling that they created.
Totally. It's like, how do we as business leaders and how do we restore a level of humanity to the business interaction?